Good evening, anybody on Facebook right now from a chilly, air-conditioned Brisbane Airport International Terminal. I am not my usual cocky, energetic self when doing a Facebook Live tonight, but was feeling somewhat compelled to get on here and share some feelings. For those who don't know, and I'm shooting this from my business page for one reason and one reason only, and that is because I'm feeling compelled to share, and I think this is going to reach more people than a personal profile video would. So for anyone who's judging, thinking that I'm leveraging a personal situation for this, then whatever. I don't even need to really make a disclaimer, but I just wanted to jump on and share partly why I've been quite quiet on the video front recently, and really just share some things that I've been reflecting on. So I'm sat at the airport right now because I am heading back to the UK, and I relocated to Australia on the 1st of February, and it is now the 7th of March, and that is because on the 11th of February my stepfather passed away very unexpectedly. And it's one of those things that for the last 10 to 15 years that I've spent travelling has always been in the back of my mind, that what if? You know, it's always that dreaded situation if you live overseas and you're away from your family, and it's the first time it's happened to me. But what I really wanted to reflect on is the fact that 3 years ago, pretty much now, this time 3 years ago, was when I was just getting started in my journey online. And I was about 3 months in, and that journey began purely because of another family bereavement. And I was just reflecting on my situation then, how life has changed and what I've learned from it, and I feel so compelled to share because it's something that's made me realise today, more than any actually, how important it is to pursue your dreams, your freedom, and to not ignore any voices in your head or feeling in your gut that tells you you're meant to be doing something different. You may not know what that looks like, you may not know what that is, but just start listening to that. Because 3 years ago I joined an online community to start a business, essentially. I wanted the freedom to travel, but more than anything, that was my priority, was to be able to travel, because I was working overseas at the time. My uncle was diagnosed with cancer. I dropped everything, came home, and I'm glad that I did, because 4 weeks later he passed away, for those who don't know my story. And I didn't have much money to my name. I was working a traditional job, and I very quickly had to go back into a traditional job, as in an offline job, very quickly, and I was very quickly very miserable. And I was working the business on the side of that job, and 18 months in I quit my job and had the freedom that I was seeking. But I just want to reflect on the fact that it was purely a wake-up call and a bereavement that made me listen, and this is the first time I've lost someone close to me since beginning that, and it's made me realise how goddamn fucking grateful, excuse my French, I am that I did it. And there's a number of things that I want to share on that. The first one being that if you're working or in a situation whereby you're spinning your wheels and rushing around and you don't have any time to sit back and contemplate what your life is about and whether or not you're actually happy, that's the first alarm bell. Rate your life, rate your relationships, rate how much you enjoy your work, rate how happy you are with the amount of money you've got in your bank, and listen just take 30 seconds a day and listen to what comes up. Because the very fact that you're having to stop and force yourself to take 30 seconds is a first, one of the warning signs. And it's since starting this business and having more time, since quitting my job and going full time, that my growth has really begun. So I've learned so much from going into business for myself, from being in this incredible community. I'll get onto that in a minute. But the journey has been, in 3 years, I still have to pinch myself and see and be grateful for how much my life has changed. But more than anything, just what I've learned about myself, the time it's given me, the flexibility it's given me, the opportunity it's given me to grow as a person, to grow as, I hope, a leader, and to build some phenomenal relationships in my life. Some that were already there, some have sadly distanced, and some that have come into my life purely as a result of beginning this journey. And you cannot put a price on that. You really do only live once, and you really don't know how long you've got. And this is not meant to be morbid, because one of the perspectives that I've gained from taking some time out before jumping on the first flight home was to discuss with, and I'm going to shout them out now and this might result in some tears flowing again, Brett and Megan Gibson, who are just the most incredible human beings who I've met 100% as a result of this journey. And I'm totally getting emotional, this was not a good idea. And I have been staying with them. When I first arrived on the Gold Coast, I stayed with them for a few weeks, and all of this materialised and unfolded whilst I was staying with them. And I will never have the words to express how grateful I am for their, first of all, putting a roof over my head for longer than I was expecting, for the friendship that we have, for their perspective recently. And that is just something as a result of following a gut instinct about starting to take action on something, relationships that I already had vastly improved, and these two incredible human beings have come into my life. And right now there's so many others I could name, but as I'm sat here in the airport having just left their house and their 3 incredible children, crying again, you can't put a price on that. And the perspective and the growth that I feel I've had has enabled me to deal with this bereavement so much better than I would have done 3 years ago or before. And that is partly because I mentioned relationships, the growth I've had. I realise I haven't even mentioned the business really from a financial perspective, but the financial freedom is just a given, because it's what gave me the ability to move to Australia so freely. It's what's given me the ability to jump on a plane and go back to the UK a few weeks later. And I'm jumping around all over the place, I know, but I just had to share this in the moment, because I don't think it has quite the impact if I try and record it later. So financial freedom is one thing. And you'll hear people say it's not about the money, and that might sound awful, because I absolutely condone chasing money. I am still chasing money, there is no question about it, because it's a tool to be able to have the freedom to do what I'm doing right now. But when you embark on this journey of pursuing something, whatever it might be, just keep going, just stay curious about it. It may not look the way you want to look, or the way you want it to look, but if you strive for financial freedom first, you're going to have to grow to get it. So just do that. If that's something you want to strive for that, fine. It's definitely what I did, it's definitely what I'm still doing. You can't not grow when you embark on something like that. And that might be an announcement for my flight. What time is it? Nope, I've got another 20 minutes. So happiness is the other thing I've made a note of here that I've just been reflecting on. I had the most amazing relationship with my stepfather, and that is one of the reasons I've been comfortable taking some time out before flying home. A few years ago, I would have panicked been really emotional, probably a bit irrational, jumped on a flight home, spent a fortune on a flight home, the first flight I could get, and then probably just been staying at home, sat around miserable. I've been on the phone to my mum pretty much every day. She's okay. She's really the only one I care about in terms of making sure I made the right decision. So her and I were in daily communication, and I did not book a flight until I knew it was the right thing to do. And I know that if my stepdad was here, he would tell me, don't even come home. He always said he wanted the cheapest funeral possible. He made some really inappropriate comments about how he would design his funeral. And it's because I had an amazing relationship, which absolutely improved over the last 3 years as a result of various personal development and growth and seminars that I went through, that I'm okay with this. And he had an amazing life. We had an amazing relationship. And I'm so, so, so grateful for the things I learned that enabled that to be the case. That I'm quite at peace with it. It's very sad. I've absolutely had lots of tears, and I know that there's a lot more coming. But that is a feeling that I can't quite put into words, that I'm so, so grateful for. And it's all because of following my dreams. Like, that might sound cheesy, but following my gut, following this path, whatever we want to call it, and freedom, if that is true freedom to me. Thanks, Lewis. I just don't know how else to put it other than to share right now, because there's too many people that I get emails from, or that, you know, follow and email me and say I'm so hyped up, and within a couple of months, you know, they've given up, or they've quit, or they've just not even pursued what we provide at the most basic level. And it's really sad, because you don't know how much you're going to draw on what you're going to learn at the most unexpected times. And this is one of those times. My journey started online because of a bereavement, and it's just hit me in the face that everything I was working towards is actually not what I'm most grateful for right now. You know, I started the business to earn more money, to travel. My priorities have changed significantly in that time. I've absolutely travelled a lot, which has been fantastic. I'm really grateful for that. But this is probably the most grateful I will ever be for the position it's put me in. And that's my message, I think, is just that you cannot put a price on everything you're going to learn by pursuing your goal, your dream, whatever that may be, and don't feel you have to justify it if it's money, because you cannot not grow. So perspective, relationships, community, people that will come into your life that you need to support you through it. If the people around you and your circle of influence is not giving you the support you need to pursue it, you need that. You absolutely need that. And you cannot put a price on any of it. So just listen to those voices, and you know, it's going to be hard. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not. And I'm not even talking just about what I do. Any business, any dream, project, it might be a charity that, you know, stands to make you zero money. You know, well, I would argue that chase something else first, because those do-gooders in the world that we absolutely need to start projects doing good in the world for no money will get there quicker if they make money first. So anyone that was feeling guilty about making money, just do it. You will grow, you will make incredible contacts and community, you'll attract people into your life that will benefit you in ways that you couldn't possibly imagine. And as and when, God forbid, tragedy or difficult times strike, you're so much better equipped to deal with it, not just financially but emotionally. And don't wait for that to happen before you start, is my message, I guess. It was ironic that that's exactly what happened to me to wake me up, and I'm so glad it did, because now it's happened again, and the circumstances could not be more different on every front, and I just had to share. So I'm not going to waffle on too much longer. I don't know how long I've been. My flight is due to board in about 20 minutes, and I just felt the need to document and share what I was thinking. Chase your dreams, chase your freedom. You never ever know when you're going to draw on what that journey will give you. because right now I could not be more grateful. And just to shout them out again, everyone in the SFM community, every single one of you, you know who you are. Friends, a lot of you are in Australia, friends back home. You've all been so supportive, not just since this happened, but in my whole journey. In the last 3 years, you guys know who you are. But just particularly, so friggin' grateful for you two, Brett and Megan. Jesus, I'm gonna get upset again. You guys are just, you know how much I love you. Thank you so much. I am gonna wrap this up before I am a quivering mess and finish my glass of wine. Lots of love to all of you in the UK. Those of you that may have caught this, I saw Emma, you were on before. I will definitely be around to your house at some point in the next couple of weeks for a lot of wine, probably with my mother. And I will see you all very soon. Take care, follow your dreams. Lots of love. Bye.